Hello, happy match day, and welcome back to Arsenal Babbles official YouTube channel. It is North London Derby Day, and I thought, you know what, I've got to get a Tottenham fan on here. I've got Josh Moore on here. Josh, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, mate. I'm nervous for today's game, but yeah, it's going all right. It's going all right. It's not over till it's over. That's what Spurs fans have to live because otherwise we're screwed.
100%. Well, let's just paint the picture a little bit. So Arsenal currently in fourth place, occupying that space, and they are 4 points above Tottenham, 1 point off Chelsea. So Chelsea could get dragged in a kind of late top four battle if they're not careful, top three battle. But we're just focusing on Arsenal versus Tottenham. And for you, mate, where does the Arsenal Tottenham the North London Derby rivalry start for you? Like, where does it originate from? Where's like your earliest memories of like North London derbies?
If I'm being totally honest, I got into football extremely late, so I sort of was a football fan up until sort of 10, 11. Then I sort of lost interest for sort of 5 or 6 years, and it's only really been in the last like 3 or 4 years or so that I've really sort of got back into it, and I pretty much watch every single Spurs game that's on. Well, I watch every single Spurs game that's on the TV now, and I watch pretty much every game that I can if it's on as well.
Sure.
I sort of got really back into it. As far as like Tottenham Arsenal goes, I don't know if it's my earliest memory, but I mean my favourite memory is definitely Kane's screamer from the outside of the box. Do you remember the one from the sort of tight angle?
The really tight angle is
Um,
that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember.
I
I do
can't
remember
remember
that
what
one.
season. Can't remember what season that was. But yeah, that's probably one of my best memories anyway. From
Was that when he still had the like the
when
face mask on after the nose break or something? Or was that a different one?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was. I think it must have been. I think if
Yeah.
I'm honest, my one of my earliest memories. I remember Fabregas absolutely doing us one at the Emirates. I don't know if you remember. I think he scored a double um, against
Most
us.
likely. Most likely. I mean, Arsenal, I mean, the thing with this rivalry in recent years, it's been very stadium dominated, hasn't it? Arsenal tend to win when Tottenham come to the Emirates, and then Arsenal do tend to struggle in recent years when going to White Hart Lane and obviously still haven't won at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And tonight's game is, in my opinion, the biggest North London derby in a long, long time. Because when do Arsenal play Tottenham at the end of the season when they're both battling for that top four place? I mean, what would it mean to Tottenham to stop Arsenal getting Champions League football? Because if Arsenal win tonight, they will get Champions League football. That will be confirmed. Tottenham won't be well. I think unless Chelsea lose all of their rest of their games, Tottenham won't be able to get it. But how sweet would it feel as a Tottenham fan if you could stop Arsenal winning the game and getting Champions League football?
I think it's more the question: how would it feel for an Arsenal fan taking the crown off us again? Because I mean, like it's been what 6 or 7 seasons since you finished above us. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's been a
um,
while.
I mean, obviously Champions League football is massive, and obviously all the sort of drama and speculation around Conte and stuff like that has been um, obviously quite present recently. Um, I don't know. I think if I don't know, I've got a feeling if we don't get Champions League, Conte might leave, and
Mm.
that would be a massive shame because it's been a while since we've had a world class manager in his prime. Obviously, we had Mourinho come in, but I think there were signs from his previous appointments before that he was sort of losing touch a little bit, and
Mm.
it's the first time I've ever seen us with a world class manager in his prime, and to potentially lose that when we realistically we should have been 6 or 7 points clear at this stage, and I mean it goes back to Tottenham bottling it again, doesn't it? Because we should have had better results against Brighton and Brentford, and we should
Mm.
have been way clear of this. It shouldn't have even come down to this sort of game.
I mean, you say that, but then Arsenal also went and lost three games on the trot to Crystal Palace, Brighton, and Southampton. So, I mean, both teams have.
Yeah,
It's like who wants it? If you want it, you can go and take it.
it's
I
like
mean,
no. I think no one wants it at this stage. That's what it
yeah,
seems like.
Literally, it does feel a
Yeah.
little bit like that. But just to backtrack a little bit, sorry. So obviously you're quite big on the TikTok side of things, TikTok football content. Do you just want to explain to people watching what you do? Because obviously it's not just Tottenham, so people don't have to go, oh, he's a Tottenham fan, I don't want to watch his content. It's the Premier League in general that you do kind of do content on TikTok. Just let everyone know what it is.
Yeah, basically, I started uploading videos on TikTok about a year ago, and it's basically just general sort of football content. So like small videos, like ranking players, combined 11s, predictions, and all that sort of stuff. It's just any sort of like short content which wouldn't be long enough to put onto to YouTube and stuff like that. I sort of just I just guess I've always enjoyed talking about football, and it's just somewhere I can give my opinions, and people tend to want to watch it. So
Okay.
I think, as we were saying before, it's just TikTok's one of those places you can put your opinion out there and not necessarily have the biggest following, and people are going to see it and react to it. So it's nice to put your opinion out there and sort of just bounce off what everyone else is feeling. Like sometimes you're going to have opinions which no one agrees with. Sometimes you're going to have an opinion which everyone agrees with. But I think that's what makes football what it is. We all have such differing opinions. So I think it's just nice to put those opinions out there and see how people react to it. So
Definitely, mate. And it's great to have you on. We will leave a link to Josh's TikTok in the description. So if you feel like you want not an argument, if you feel like you want to debate on TikTok with Josh, make sure to check that out. Let's move on now. Let's talk about the North London derby in particular. For you, where are the key areas in this game where it could be decided? Do you feel like there could be, it's a midfield battle? Do you feel like it's Harry Kane? He's got to make sure that the likes of Gabriel, and it looks like it'll be Rob Holding because Ben White's a doubt, can control him. Where do you see the key kind of areas for this game?
For me, I think obviously with the way that the Conte likes to play, it is primarily focused on those wing backs, which doesn't really tend to bode too well for us at the moment with Doherty and Reggie out. But obviously, we've seen from the last few games, obviously against Liverpool, Sessegnon played like a key part in that game. Obviously, with Trent pushing so far up the pitch, I can see us potentially looking to play more down the right hand side in this game. Obviously, Tierney's your fullback that tends to like to push up the pitch a little bit more.
Yeah, Tierney won't be playing in this one. Tierney
No,
won't
he's
be
not.
playing. Tierney's out for the season.
Tomiyasu's
Yes.
playing on the left now, isn't he?
So Tierney's out for the season. So Tierney's out for the season. So it will be most likely, I'd say, Tomiyasu at right back and one of either Cedric or Tavares at left back. Although Tomiyasu played left back against Leeds, but that's only because Rafinha played right wing, so wanted to match them up. But I think it will be a Tomiyasu and Son kind of head to head.
Yeah, so I can see us potentially playing more down the right with Tavares and Cedric filling there, because they're going to be the fullbacks that tend to push up the pitch a little bit more, and we're going to want to sort of fill that space behind. That's tends to be the way that Conte sort of likes to play down those wings. And to be honest, I can, even though we're home, I can potentially see you dominating a lot of the ball. See, with his sort of the way that Conte likes to play, he actually prefers playing against teams that sort of tend to keep hold of the ball a little bit more, which is something that you lot have been actually quite good at this season as well. Sort of keeping hold of the ball and sort of playing in the opponent's half. So I think that might be something that plays into our hands. Obviously, we're a team that we much prefer playing on the counter. So I think that's going to be. I think it's going to be mainly down the right, which is I think is going to be a good matchup with Emerson. I mean, Emerson, I'm not a massive fan of him, but he played really well against Liverpool.
He played really well against Liverpool, didn't he?
I don't know what happened. It turned into Cafu for 90 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Emerson Royale turned Cafu. Josh, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Combined 11 time. Arsenal, Tottenham. We're going to go off current players. I know there's injuries, but we're going to go off of just the current squad. Yeah, so everyone fully fit. And I think if we start off in goal.
I mean, what formation are we playing?
That is the question, isn't it? Because obviously Tottenham go for a 3. You know what? We'll go for a 3. or
See,
a five,
I think I'm happy to do a fullback because I think
a fullback? Well, a
that'll
4-2-3,
yeah
4-2-3-1, 4-2-3-1.
yeah
Okay,
or
so
yeah we can do that.
yeah, okay, let's go for that. Okay, so in goal, in my opinion, Aaron Ramsdale's had a fantastic season, and I think he's been better than Lloris this season. I mean, would you agree with me that Aaron Ramsdale goes in this combined 11?
If we're basing it off this season, I don't think anyone's going to doubt that
Yeah,
Aaron Ramsdale should be in there. I mean, he's especially first half of the season, he was unplayable. I still remember that the free kick save he made against Madison. I was watching that game live, and
Madison. Yeah,
like I don't even know how he saved that. To be fair to him, so
yeah,
yeah, I do feel like he's a bit erratic sometimes, and I feel like he is a bit flashy for the cameras, but in general, like you've still got to save them. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
it
yeah. Of
doesn't really
course.
matter how you. It's like a goal scorer. It doesn't matter how you score the goal. It
Yeah,
just
of
matters that it goes
course.
in. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think this season, if we're basing it off this season, like Ramsdale's
Yeah,
gonna go in there, and I love Hugo Lloris. There are signs that he's sort of coming towards the end of his career, and I think over the next couple of years, it will be somewhere that we need to look at bringing someone in, at least to start sort of easing into the starting 11.
okay. So Aaron Ramsdale between the sticks. We're going to go to right back this season. I mean, for Arsenal, the only option is Tomiyasu. Um, that I'd put there. Cedric, I wouldn't say has been better than Tomiyasu. Who has Spurs got
No.
in the right back position to talk about to throw into the mix?
Well, I mean, it's either Emerson or Doherty. Emerson, up until Liverpool, up until that game against Liverpool, has arguably been our worst player this season.
Yeah, yeah.
It's horrific watching that man trying to play football sometimes. um, Doherty actually, since Conte has come in, has actually really surprised me. Um,
Mm,
I saw a stat a couple of weeks ago, just before he got injured, that he was, I think, fourth in the goal involvements since
okay.
December.
Mm,
Um, I think he was up at like 5 or 6 goal involvements as a right back, which
mm,
was really good. So he would probably be my choice that I would put at right back. I think
yeah,
if I'm being totally honest with myself, I think Tomiyasu's been a more consistent player for the whole season.
yeah.
But I think Doherty is better on his day. So if we're basing this off best player on the day, I would probably put Doherty ahead.
Okay, but
But
we
again,
go. Yeah, yeah. If we
playing a
just go off
four.
the just based off this season, I think Tomiyasu for me edges it. I think Doherty's one to look out for next season. And would you agree with me that he's benefited a lot from Conte's back five, sorry, rather than Mourinho or past managers trying to put him as an out and out right back in a back four?
Yeah, definitely.
Because
He
that's what he did
doesn't.
best at Wolves, wasn't it? That's what he did best under
Yeah,
Nuno at
yeah.
Wolves.
He doesn't like a fullback. He
Yeah,
prefers playing as almost a right midfielder. To be fair to him, and
yeah.
he does that job really well. Defensively, there are questions to be asked, but um, again, he he's been good this season. I just think if I'm being honest with myself, Tomiyasu's been a more consistent performer, and he's been really solid for you lot at the back. So
Mm,
yeah,
okay.
I wouldn't have any major qualms with putting him in at right back.
Okay, and a key player that hopefully can make a big impact tonight in the game. Um, Centre backs. This is where it does get a little bit interesting because I know Romero's been injured for a long period of the season. However, when he has come in, he's looked very good. Eric Dyer, I think, surprised quite a lot of people. I don't think he makes it for me in this combined 11, but I think he surprised people as to had some good aspects this season. For your side, would you agree those two have been good in moments in the season?
Uh, yes, I do. I mean, Romero is, since he's been back from injury, I can't speak highly enough of him, and I would put him in the top 5 centre backs in the league. When he's on
Okay.
his day, he is up there with the top 5 centre backs. He's always there for that last challenge. And in the game against Newcastle, he pocketed Saint Maximin,
Yeah.
actually pocketed him, which
Okay.
not many players can do. And
Hmm.
he's always there for the last challenge. He's always putting blocks in. He's always there.
Is he on
And
loan at the moment? Is he
what
on loan with an option or something?
loan with an option to buy, I believe. Uh, Yeah, I think it's loan with an
Yeah,
option to buy, and if we don't take that on, it's stupid because
yeah,
he's 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 the gravy, mate. He's so good.
sure. Okay, so I mean, I agree with you. I think he's been very good for Tottenham, and I would put him in this combined 11 as our first centre back. And then for me personally, I think Ben White and Gabriel have been very good this season. But for me, Gabriel edges it. I think White's very good, but he can be a little bit kind of rash in certain moments, and he's still got a lot to learn and experience to gain in this kind of level. But for me,
Yeah,
I'd put Romero and Gabriel as my two centre backs for this combined 11.
yeah, what one player that I would agree with you. I do think Gabriel is a more reliable player than Ben White, especially at this stage. I think Ben White's got a lot to learn, and he's still young, isn't he? So obviously,
Don't get me wrong; he's had a fantastic season. I just think Gabriel's been that little bit better than him.
yeah. One player I do want to give like insane credit to, which a lot of people he goes under the radar massively, which is Ben Davies, who's been playing as our sort of left-sided centre back.
Okay,
I think he's been better than Dyer in that centre back role, and
okay,
he's been going under the radar a little bit. But
mm.
if anyone watched that Liverpool Spurs game last week, he was man of the match by an absolute country mile, and he's sort of come in clutch a few times, scored a few important goals, and he's played really well this year as well. So I
Okay.
mean, I would agree that obviously Gabriel and Romero are going to be that back too, but I just wanted to give him like some credit because I don't think anyone
Yeah,
is.
yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I mean that's a pretty solid back line so far, but we've got one more position to fill out the left back. If Kieran Tierney was not a man that existed, I mean, I think this would be quite a big debate. But for me, Tierney, when fit, is one of the best left backs in the league. Who would you say is the best left back for Spurs that would come into any kind of a debate with this? Because Tavares,
Yeah,
no, Cedric, no, but Kieran Tierney when he's fit is solid.
yeah. I think our only real shout is Reguilon. Sessegnon for the most part. I know he said he had a good game against Liverpool, but again, like Emerson, I think every time I've watched him, he's been shocking this season.
Mm.
I'm not a massive fan of his, but yeah, Reguilon's probably our sort of main left back. Again, I think very similar to Ben White, he's got a lot to learn.
Mm.
You can see that he's like young and a bit inexperienced at times, and he does make those odd mistakes, but he has got that sort of raw talent there, which you can see could be the making of a world class player going forwards.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the quickest players I've watched. He's
Mm.
insanely fast, and he's very good going forward. But again, I think he shows a bit of naivety at the back. So again, it's tough to see so many Arsenal players in, but I'd definitely give it to Tierney.
Yeah.
Club captain, am I right in saying? Is he
But no,
captain for you?
not no, he's not. He's not. I
No,
mean, the official captain was Aubameyang until he left, and then it was passed to Lacazette. So Lacazette's the official club captain, but a
he's
man
future
who,
captain for sure. Tierney,
yeah, I'd say he could be up
surely
there. But
the
I think Martin Odegaard's the main man at the moment who's taking the captaincy role. He seemed to be the teacher's pet. I think in Aaron Ramsdale's words that was, but yeah, no,
yeah.
Tierney's definitely. A lot of people have called for Tierney to be the captain, so he's definitely a
I'm a,
candidate for it.
I'm a big fan of Tierney. To be fair to him,
Yeah,
he's a good player, and he's a
just
solid player, and he does
injuries.
it for
It's just
that's
injuries.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. But
Right. Let's move on to the midfield. So far, Aaron Ramsdale in goal, Tomiyasu, Romero, Gabriel, Kieran Tierney. Midfield, we go for midfield two, like a pivot of a two.
yeah,
The first name I'm gonna throw in there for me when he's fit, he's one of the best midfielders in the league. We haven't really seen it yet, but for me, Thomas Partey is on his day, and in periods this season has been absolutely integral to Arsenal. And he's the first name I'd put in there for it as for that midfield too. Um, who would you say for Tottenham comes into consideration? You've got obviously Bentancur, who you signed in January.
yeah.
You've got Højbjerg as well. So
So I
just want to
think
talk me through some of them.
yeah. I mean, the one that's definitely got to go in there for this season is Højbjerg. He's got to be in there without a shadow of a doubt. He's been probably our most consistent performer this season. Attacking, defending, he's always there, and he does everything. And he's outside of sort of Harry Kane, he's the biggest leader we've got on that pitch. I think he has more of an influence on the pitch than when he's on the pitch than any other player that we've got. And yeah, I definitely think that shows when he's out. Bentancur, I think it's going to be tough to get him in this team because he's only been here half the season.
Yeah.
If we're having this conversation this time next year, he's in that combined 11 without a shadow of a doubt, because I think the quality that he shows on the ball when he does play is sublime. He's one of the most composed footballers that I've ever watched play. So you know, like Thiago Alcantara for Liverpool, you know how composed he is. Bentancur is very similar. He's a sort of similar style of player to Thiago, and he's not quite on that level yet, but he's this time next year he'll be going in this combined 11. So I think I'd agree that Partey's in there. He's a good player. I think he's been a little bit inconsistent this season. Obviously, he's had some injuries, from what I understand. But on his day, Partey's a good player, and I think Højbjerg's definitely got to be in there as well.
Okay,
so I'd be happy with Partey and Højbjerg as the
two. Sure, you've got to give a big shout out from an Arsenal perspective to Granit Xhaka as well. He honestly gets so much hate, but when he plays well, you don't hear about it. And I think he's a much better player than people give him credit for. And I think it's close between him and Højbjerg. But you're a guest on the channel, mate. We'll definitely put.
There's no way you were getting Xhaka in over Højbjerg. No chance.
No. I respect it. So Thomas Partey and Højbjerg in a midfield pivot too. Right, this is where it gets tasty because we've got 4 positions left to fill. We've got right midfield, we've got number 10 and left midfield, and we've got the striker up front. So obviously Nketiah is going up front, so we'll move on from that.
Okay, we'll come to that.
Now
I think the one position which I'm going to give you lot straight away is the number 10. With Martin Ødegaard this season's been different gravy for you lot.
Phenomenal.
I was a bit dubious of, not dubious, but I was a bit hesitant to say I thought he was going to be a success after last season, because I don't think he was as vital last season as he has been this season.
Yeah,
but he's been so good for you lot this year, and arguably maybe outside of 1 or 2, he's probably been your most important player. I don't know if.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think he's been fantastic. In my opinion, to be honest, the front 4 of rights itself. To be honest, I'd say. Let's just run through it, I'd say. So Martin Ødegaard, I think, like you said there, has been fantastic. I'd put Saka on the right wing. I'd put Son on the left wing. And then I'd put Kane up front. Yeah,
I think that's a pretty... as close as you're going to get. This time next year, Kulusevski's going for that right wing spot, though, mate. He could be... Good.
Yeah, but you've got... Let's just talk about the positions in general. Bukayo Saka has been absolutely phenomenal this season for Arsenal. He's been, especially when you look at the way he's bounced back from the European Championships and everything that happened with that, to now be on, I will look up the stats shortly, but to have double figures in goals and, if I'm not mistaken, close to double figures in assists is just phenomenal for a player of his age. And I think, of course, Kulusevski has been brilliant as well, but I think Saka, just how good he has been this season. For me, he's Young Player of the Year.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't think of anyone that.
I mean, it's you think Foden maybe? I don't know if he's played enough for me to be.
Yeah, that's the thing with that Man City squad, isn't it? That they're so rotational, and it doesn't really give any of them an opportunity to be that important of a player, and especially in the attacking roles. But no, Saka has been very, very good this year, and as you said, to sort of bounce back from obviously the heartbreak in the Euros last year, for
Mm.
someone so young to come and play this season now with so much sort of maturity, and he plays like he's been playing the game for 10 years.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing to note about him. He's so smart. His decision making is so good, and he can beat a man. I think he still needs to work a little bit on his like final product, his end product, but you can see that's coming.
Yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
think
I mean, he's on 12 goals and 6 assists this season in all competitions. I mean, for a guy like him, I think it's fantastic. And he's only 20 years old, and he's only going to get better. We are pushed for time. I've just seen the meeting is coming to an end here. We will look at so Ødegaard, Saka, Heung-min Son. How good has Heung-min Son been for Tottenham this season? I mean, you labelled him as potential Premier League player of the season. But just a word on Son. How good's he been?
Mate, he's the, as I said, player of the season for me this year. He's that good. Outside of penalty goals, he's top goal scorer this season by a fair margin, by a couple of goals, I think. He's, again, I think even back in the summer when Kane was sort of going to leave, it didn't actually have me worried. I sort of wanted Kane to leave in a way, because I wouldn't have mind cashing in the money for him to sort of reinvest. And it didn't have me worried, because every time Kane's been out, Son steps up and he scores the goals even without Kane. So this season, with Kane's form being so in and out, Son has been Mr. Consistent and stepped up for us when we've needed it the most. And I think he's one of the most likable players in the league. I think a lot of people don't agree, but for me, he's one of the most likable players. I think his finishing especially is up there with any striker in Europe. I think I saw a stat. I don't know how up to date it was. This was about this time last year, but his conversion rate is about 40%, which is up there with Lewandowski and all the best strikers in the world.
Yeah,
which you wouldn't expect from a left-sided midfielder or left winger.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Son's been fantastic. And then Harry Kane up front, Captain Harry Kane, he scores goals and he scores penalties against Arsenal. And he probably will score a penalty against Arsenal at the weekend. He
loves the North London derby, doesn't he?
He does love it. And we love it too. It is match day. I'm going to wrap this video up now. Josh, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me on.
Make sure to drop Josh a follow on TikTok. Check out some of his videos. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Drop a like. We have moved on Twitter. You can now find us at @ArsenalVavel_. Follow Josh on Twitter. That'll be in the description too. Follow me on Twitter if you want to for more football content, Arsenal content. Josh, just before we go, score prediction.
See, I've predicted a draw. I think it's going to be 1-1 personally. Kane with the opener, Saka with the equaliser.
Ooh,
that's what I'm going for.
Okay.
I can't. It's not what I want. We need a win, but I just can't see it personally.
Okay. I'm going to say, I said this in my previous preview, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say 3-2. I reckon there's going to be a bit of a goal fest, but we will wait and see. Make sure to check it out. All our content on at @ArsenalVavel_. And we will catch you again in a video very soon, hopefully reflecting on an Arsenal win in the North London derby and UEFA Champions League confirmed. But we will see. Until then, guys, we will catch you again very soon.